This is so exciting. You are thinking about buying a house. I love it and I am here for it. Now, if you want to know the things that you should and shouldn't do before you buy a house, then this is the video for you, so stick around. This is Danae Hewitt, your go-to DFW realtor with Brico Realty Services. I have been buying and selling homes here in DFW for over 2 years, and I absolutely love what I do. On this channel, I'm going to tell you all the things real estate. I'm here to give you advice, I'm here to give you tips, and I'm here to answer all the questions that you have. So let's get started. We have just entered a new year, and if home ownership is your goal this year, then I'm here to help you out. So let's talk about the things that you should and shouldn't do as you're thinking about buying a house. If you need a mortgage in order to buy a home, then your credit is going to get looked at, obviously. A mortgage lender needs to know that you are financially able and capable and responsible to take on the debt of a mortgage. The first thing they're going to look at is your credit score. So that's what you should look at first. Look at your score and see if there's any discrepancies in your credit for whatever reason. Something that came up years ago and you tried to fight it, or you thought that you did and it didn't fall off your credit. That can lower your score, so get that cleaned up. If you have any unpaid bills, like maybe you had the water shut off and they stuck you with a $300 bill, pay that off. Because a mortgage company is gonna look at that and go, well, if they can't even pay a $300 bill, they can't afford to pay for a mortgage. So clean that up. Mortgage companies are really looking at a credit score of at least 620 points. And that's really what you want too, because the higher your credit score, the better interest rate you're going to get on your loan. So do what you can to get that score up. During this time, if you can pay off some of your credit cards, that would really help you. Pay down some of your car debt if you do have a car debt, because the lenders look at your debt to income ratio. If you have too much debt and not enough income to support it, then how are you going to have enough income to pay for a mortgage? So first thing definitely is look at your credit score and make sure that everything looks great before you contact your lender. The next thing to do is to start saving for a down payment and for closing costs. Now, if you have no idea how much a down payment is, how much closing costs are, I've got you covered. In this video right here, I'm going to talk to you about what a down payment's going to be here in Texas for homes here. And in this video here, I'm going to talk to you about closing costs and what you can expect to pay. Now, I'm not fancy enough to have links to both of these videos, but what I've done is I've linked them in the description below, so definitely look at both of those so you can get a great idea of how much you're going to be spending in a down payment and in closing costs. I think sometimes we all hate that word, saving, because that means I have to take away from something else that I really love and that I really want. But this is a really good time to take a really good look at your budget and see what you can eliminate. Do you eat out every day for lunch with your coworkers? Do you grab a Starbucks every time you go and run errands? Well, let's see if we can eliminate that coffee and maybe go out to eat one day a week, not every day. Or maybe you can start a side job to earn some additional money to help you save for your new house. At this point in the game, I would definitely talk to a mortgage lender, and I would definitely talk to a great real estate agent. I can help you find one if you need one. Oh, hey. What I suggest you do is to interview a couple of different agents and lenders, because you want to make sure that you mesh well with this person that's going to help you with the most important purchase of your life. Mortgage lenders can offer different rates and they can offer you different programs, so definitely shop around and try to get the best interest rate. Not all real estate agents are created the same. You really want to find someone that is available to you and your family, that really listens to you and can definitely help you and is definitely knowledgeable of current market trends. That is so important. You really want someone that is active in the business and not someone that just does this as a side hobby, just to make a little extra money. This is a pretty big deal for you. You really want to make sure that your lender and your real estate agent are there for you all the time. When you talk to your mortgage lender, they're going to want to have access to your credit score. They're going to want to have your recent tax statements, and they're also going to want to have bank account statements. And from there, they're going to look at all your finances and they're going to pre-approve you for a home loan, which basically says, based on this information that we've reviewed here, we're going to pre-approve you for up to this certain dollar amount. And then with that dollar amount, you let your agent know, hey, this is the maximum amount that I'm approved for, so let's not go above that budget. Or you may say, hey, I know I'm approved for that much, but I don't want to spend that much, so let's drop it down to here. And that's the range that your agent should stick around when you guys are looking at homes. The reason why you should have a pre-approval letter before you start shopping for homes is if you find a house that you like and you want to put an offer in, that offer also needs to have a pre-approval letter from your lender because the seller wants to know that you can afford to buy the house. So it's so important that you're not out house hunting and shopping for houses when you don't even have proof that you can pay for the house. I know it may seem a little backwards, but honestly, I would never recommend a seller to accept an offer that didn't have a pre-approval letter. I just wouldn't do it. And you certainly don't want to find a house that you love and want to put an offer in, but yikes, I don't have my pre-approval letter and that's going to take a couple of days to get. The house is now under contract with somebody else that was already pre-approved. For that reason, it is so important that you have that pre-approval letter before you look for homes. And really, before you start looking at homes, you want to sit down with your real estate agent and tell them all of the musts, the wants, and the deal breakers for your home. I always tell my clients that for the most part, interior and exterior can all be changed on a property. But there are a couple of things you can't change. You can't change the location of your house. You also can't change the lot size of it because you may have neighbors next door and you're not gonna buy that house and tear it down and expand on your lot. So you definitely can't change the location of it or the lot size. Everything else you pretty much can change. So don't focus on paint color, please. Paint is so easy to change. Don't focus on countertops because those can be changed as well. But you do want to think about how much work you want to put into a house. If you want to do a couple of projects here or there, that's fine. But if these projects start mounting into the bedrooms and the bathrooms and the flooring throughout the house, and that just goes beyond your budget, then maybe that isn't the house for you. But if on your list of must-haves and your wants, if you hit about 80% in a house, then that's probably the house for you, and you should definitely consider putting in an offer. Something else you should also look at when you're planning to buy a house is how much is it going to cost you to move? If you're moving across town, you can probably just rent a rental truck for a day or two and maybe have some friends help you pack it all up. Well, not pack it, no, don't make your friends pack up your stuff. But load up the van and move it across town. That may not cost you too much. But if you're moving to another state, then you're looking at quite an expense just to move. I would suggest that you price out hiring movers for them to pack and move your stuff for you. Just see what that cost is. And then definitely weigh it and see if it's worth it for you to have them do it or for you to just pack up your stuff, load it in a U-Haul, and drive to the next state. But that's definitely something to think about before you buy a house. How much is it gonna cost for you to move? Let's recap, shall we? Here are the things that you should do before you plan to buy your house. Check your credit, talk to a mortgage lender, and talk to your real estate agent. And look at the cost to move. Now, let's look at some things that you definitely should not do when you're thinking about buying a house. Remember earlier in the video when I said the mortgage lender is going to look at your credit? Don't do anything crazy with your credit. What do I mean by that? Don't mess with your credit. Don't open a new line of credit. Don't go buy a car. Don't go buy new furniture. Don't do any of those things that's going to change your credit score. And even when you're under contract to buy a house, that we like to call a quiet period. Don't do anything with your credit. Don't buy new furniture for that new house because guess what? It's not yours yet. I have known agents that have had clients that went out and bought furniture for their new house and that changed their debt to income ratio and they couldn't get approved for the loan, so they lost the house. Quiet period. Don't do anything to your credit before you plan on buying a house and while you are in escrow for your house. Before you buy a house, just make sure that you aren't making any big purchases. You want to make sure that your credit is staying perfect the way that it is, if not increasing it. So pay all your bills on time and don't go out and open another line of credit right before you want to buy a house. Another don't right before you want to buy a house is change jobs. Your mortgage lender wants to know that you are consistent with your work. And if they see that you've changed jobs, then that might get a little fishy. They want to make sure that you are financially responsible, and changing jobs could be a red flag. So you know what? Let's just not even have the conversation. If you're doing something like going from a salary position to a commission, that can look a little funny and the mortgage lender and the underwriter may have a hard time trying to give you a loan when you've gone from two different types of income. All in all, err on the side of caution, and before you go to buy a house, stick with the same employer because that shows longevity to a mortgage lender, which is something that they absolutely love. Let's talk about those don'ts again. Don't do anything to your credit before you go to buy a house. Don't open a line of credit. Don't go make any major purchases. And also, don't change your employment if you can help it. And one last do while you're thinking about buying a house is to ask questions. Again, like I said, this is a huge purchase and you want to make sure that you understand the process from beginning to end. So really make sure that you're hiring a real estate agent and a lender that will answer all of the questions for you. Honestly, no question is dumb, and if you have any hesitation about what's going on or what this process is or why you need to do this, then those two people should be there to help you understand exactly what's going on. Well, I hope you got some great information from today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you've got any questions about what a down payment is going to cost and how much closing cost might be for your house, check out both of those videos and I'll link them in the description below.